Thank you very much. And yes, I travel up and down the country. I was in your patch only 2 weeks ago up north. And thank you, David, for inviting me to address your annual conference here today. And I'd like to take this opportunity to again congratulate you on becoming chairman of the County Councils Network. And as you know, I became the chairman of the National Association of Councils in December of last year, just under a year ago. And then now I have the honour of leading NALC and the Town and Parish Council sector forward. David, like you, I joined local government and became a councillor to make a difference and to help people. Also, like you, I have many responsibilities and several plates I need to keep spinning. So with almost 12 months of my national role under my belt, I feel suitably qualified, to pass on to you one piece of wisdom and advice as you embark on your own important national job. If you thought you were busy before, you ain't seen nothing yet. Although I am sure this advice has already been passed on to you by your predecessor, Robert Gordon, and I want to pay tribute to Robert for the progress CCN and counties made under his leadership, including his support and recognition of the vital role of parishes and of NALC. Partnership and collaboration remain at the heart of everything we do at NALC. Hence, I'm proud of our continuing relationship with CCN and pleased we've again been able to attend and support this year's event. And I'm committed to maintaining and strengthening our important relationship in the future. David, I wish you well, good luck, and I look forward to working with you. What I want to focus on this afternoon is the changing role of parishes, why the first tier of government are 9,000 parish councils, a number which grows every year as more and more are created, is undergoing a grassroots revolution, and why I want you to think about how we can play our part in helping you. Because these are, without doubt, difficult, challenging times for local government and public services at both local and national level. But times of excitement and opportunity too, for all of us. Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." And I'm sure you'll agree, it is optimistic leadership of our places, our councils, and our respective national bodies that will win the day and see us through. As will absolutely clarity of purpose, a real sense of vision and direction. In NALC, we are developing our own future strategy, which we will finalise in the spring. I know CCN's recent future direction plan sets out a vision for positive contribution of counties in driving economic growth, transforming public services through innovation and securing positive futures for county communities. In this brave new world, it is my view parishes can play their part in helping to support this vision. One of the ways we can do this is through the Localism Act, which provides us with some new tools and is generally helpful to parishes for reasons I'll come on to. But this legislation, this aspect of localism, is not all good. The elephant in the room is always local government finance. So I want to get these points out of the way now. This particular elephant in the room is council tax support funding, followed by another whose swinging trunk clings to its curly tail, capping parish precepts through referenda. The golden thread of parish finance in over a century was broken with the introduction of localised council tax support schemes. No longer are parishes masters of their own destiny. No longer are parishes using their democratic mandate and understanding of local needs to levy a precept to provide the resources they need to do the job. No longer do parishes enjoy financial independence. And I don't want to dwell on the merits or politics of welfare reform. I just want to get to the point. The government is providing funding of 3.3 billion to billing authorities in the current and next financial year, a share of which they expect to be passed on to parishes. The majority of billing authorities are passing this on in full. They appreciate the value of what parishes do. Some billing authorities are passing on reduced funding, and some have not passed anything on at all, which is just wrong and less than satisfactory. And I blame both government and those billing authorities concerned. Good government, this is not, and partnership working, this is not. The outlook for next year is even bleaker, with research telling us a growing number of billing authorities will not be passing on the grant. A grant which, again, I stress, our councils and government expect to be passed on. This is wrong and not acceptable. And this is something I'll be raising with the Secretary of State later and with his Minister for Local Government next week. There can only be two courses of action. Either government acts to compel billing authorities to pass on the grant, or parishes will need to increase their precept. While we are not subject to referenda on increases in precept at the moment, government has said they're watching us. We do not support any tier of local government being subject to these anti-localist rules and will continue to urge government not to interfere. Now, I accept the responsibility we have to deliver value for money, to exercise financial restraint, and to be efficient. I get that, and we already do that. But this is a policy and reform which undermines parish councils, undermines relationships between the tiers of local government, and undermines localism. And I look forward to hearing your views on these issues over the course of the conference and at our stand outside. I mentioned earlier why I became a councillor, and I want to say a bit more about my own journey. I'm a parish councillor on Holberton Parish Council, a small rural parish in Devon, where I've been chairman for the last few years. I became involved in the parish council through my contribution to the provision of youth services in our village, project managing a new preschool, because no one else would do it, and the village needed a preschool, and I caved in and ran the project, and I'm proud of what has gone on all these years since. And having been trained and involved in agriculture, I now run a beef cattle enterprise and precision engineering business in a part of rural Devon where I've lived all my life. I've led our small but active parish council through a range of initiatives, such as our community orchard, our emergency plan, our permissive paths scheme, and the community-led process which resulted in us developing 10 units of affordable housing for local people, where over half of the young people from the area, where over half the people moving into those houses were local kids who'd been through our village youth club, which I've been helped to run since the late 80s, early 90s, and they're working locally. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's finding homes for local people so that they continue to work locally. Just imagine if every parish council up and down the country followed our lead, supporting our house building. Our strategic objective continues to be finding a way through, ways to get things done for the best of the community. But our parish council could not have done this without the help and support of our principal councils. I have seen the very real differences that my parish council, working together with Mid Devon District Council and Devon County Council, have made to our community. We've got our snow warden scheme, where at the present there's 280 parishes signed up to that, and there's about 5 tons of salt being provided by the county and stored away in our parishes ready for use, so that our residents won't be going down the slippery slope when the snow and ice comes. We're moving on. And because of last year's storms and flooding, we're now thinking about flood wardens. And Devon County are training some of our parish councillors in Chapter 8 training so that they'll be able to put up signs and clear drains prior to any advertised storms coming our way. There are other things as well that we're working together, because we realise in these times the money's not there always to do the job, but when there's an emergency, our people are on the ground and can actually act, because we've got an army of them, and we can call in more people from our community if and when needed. Whether it's localism or the challenging times we're facing in local government, there is one overriding imperative: to listen to our communities and to work together to respond to their needs and aspirations. In fact, it was simple commitment that inspired a report we published jointly with Local Government Association in January on modelling devolution. The report highlights some of the common features of how principal councils, counties, districts and unitaries are devolving services and assets, improving relationships and building trust, and helping develop capacity to do even more in the current climate of financial austerity. How we collectively respond to the challenges we face will shape our communities for many years to come. I know firsthand that the best parishes are changing. By working with principal councils as well as with other public service providers, the voluntary and community sector and local businesses, parishes are starting to unlock their potential and enhancing their performance and increasing their output. But some change in innovation is happening you wouldn't normally associate with parish councils. Innovation happening almost under the radar. Innovation aimed at supporting and driving very local economic growth. And I know local growth is a priority for CCN and for counties. Up and down the country, parish councils are stepping up to the plate to drive local economic development, local growth and development skills and employment. Take Sevenoaks Town Council in Kent, with a corporate priority to support businesses and take more responsibility for economic development, who took on the Community Arts Centre, comprising a theatre, cinema and function suite run by volunteers, and a major factor in the economic development of the town, who have taken on running 2 markets with glowing feedback from the traders, and who set up the Sevenoaks Town Partnership, one of DCLG's town teams, launching a new hop-on, hop-off vintage bus service to bring even more visitors into the town centre from the National Trust property just outside. Or Shrewsbury Town Council in Shropshire, who part-funded a business development manager to help set up Business Improvement District, who facilitate a tourism partnership with the Business Chamber and Retail Forum, and whose mayor has a priority to promote business, has introduced a Mayor's Business Awards. Or there's Oswestry Town Council, who have facilitated an ambitious development including supermarket, retail, cinema, commercial lets and food outlets, who set up a regeneration forum with Shropshire Council, leading a scheme to promote B&Bs to increase provision, who have launched an Oswestry app, What's On, Jobs, Council News, Offers, etc., running an empty shop scheme, installing art from local artists. These are parish councils, albeit parish councils who have taken a conscious decision to prioritise local economic development. But it doesn't stop at the big town councils, and it's always focused on the high street. There's Stone Council in Kent, who are providing training for job seekers in association with local businesses and other partners, who have developed a new parish council website featuring free advertising for local businesses, and who have provided free money advice workshops for local residents. Scores of parishes up and down the country are taking responsibility and boosting the very local economy. But with economic growth, a government priority, and localism still a guiding mantra, a more radical approach to the business rate retention scheme is needed to help unlock the power of this growing number of initiatives by parish councils. 2 years ago, government set out its plans to localise business rates. We responded then saying the plans were not radical or localist enough and needed to go further. Our view has not changed, and it is even stronger given the brilliant work we've seen our councils doing since then. That's why I'm asking the government to think again and to work with us on measures to support local government through the parishes. This might look like targeted investment through a share of the business rates, or a saving through a discount as enjoyed by charities, or initiatives like the funding made available through the Portus Pilots and Town Team initiatives, or local enterprise partnerships working closer with groups of parish councils. Some or all of these kinds of measures could help support government's vision for parish councils under the localism and public services plans. But what I'm clear about is more parishes and town councils of all sizes and shapes can do something, however big or small, to work with others and make their contribution to tackling our economic, social and environmental challenges. This is the kind of community leadership our people and places expect, and the kind of leadership that they deserve. The final theme I want to talk about today is what next for localism. The general power of competence is helpful, as are the new community rights in the Localism Act. Likewise, making it easier to set up parish councils. As is the long-awaited reform, the way parish councils can make payments. Ditto the commitment by government to reform parish polls in the local audit bill. But whilst welcoming development and examples of government, listening to councillors and councils, these are opportunities passed down to us, where the clear water of localism that has councils and elected representatives at its core is sometimes clouded with centralist measures and mixed messages. Just look at the council tax support funding. Now is not the time to restrain local government by the far and most efficient part of the public sector. There may be some things CCN and even the LGA disagree on, but not on this. That is why I personally welcome the Rewiring Public Services campaign, and why I'm keen our councils get involved in the debate. A debate which complements our What Next for Localism inquiry, which we are conducting with the all-party parliamentary group on local democracy, chaired by Rory Stewart MP, offering analysis, insight and advice on where localism needs to go next. The inquiry has got people thinking, and What Next for Parish Councils generating a wealth of ideas about how the current policy, legal and financial frameworks can be improved, such as increased collaboration between smaller parishes to help them take on new services and improve their purchasing power, keeping parishes free from capping, certainty of funding through the council tax support scheme, the option for a town or village to have a directly elected mayor, more use of social media by parishes to improve communications and community engagement, reforms to outdated legislation, upskilling principal of councils on working with parishes through training, and radical reform of the business rates to help parishes support businesses and local growth. These are to name but a few. To get involved and to find out more, please visit whatnextforlocalism.org. So be it, through the ideas of our inquiry is developing, or a new settlement and radical rewiring, the grassroots of our democracy are already well plugged in to their community, switched on to the needs of local people, and a shining expression of localism in action. The best parish councils are already making such a big difference in their localities. We can do our bit, but government needs to do its bit too. to create the conditions for us to flourish and to help us develop our role. But what I'm clear about is that more parish councils of all shapes and sizes can do something big to work with others to make their contribution to supporting economic growth. Just like more can help safeguard treasured local assets like pubs, shops and open spaces through listing them on the asset register. I'd like to get to the point where every single parish and town council in the country has listed at least one asset. And just like they can make an even greater contribution to improving their area through using the general power of competence. But we can and must step up a gear in our efforts to work together to improve and strengthen how the levels of local government work together, to reboot and rewire what we do and how we do it. Parishes need to change. We live in fast-moving times, and it's vital to keep up. Parishes are changing and seeing real grassroots revolution, with parishes unrecognisable from their establishment in 1894. But help us with this change. I ask for you to work with us in a genuine and equal partnership based on mutual trust, respect and understanding. As Henry Ford once said, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. Thank you.